Hey there, YouTubers. All right, another Matrixx 50 computer case. So this is the mid tower. We've actually dealt with this before on here, but I got a new one shipped to Africa. And one reason I'm doing this video, not really to unbox it again, but just to talk about how this is potentially the best deal out there for a case. At least when you get it for 40, 45 bucks. This one's 45. Of course, you can't beat that, especially with the free shipping I got. Now, what concerns, this came from the U.S. Did it arrive in one piece? You see a whole lot of this kind of damage in boxes that come here. So we shall see here momentarily. And I'm kind of curious which version of this I got. It's black. They do have a white one. This, you can't beat the compatibility of the different motherboards for this thing. Expansion slots. And so let's go ahead and get it open. So I had built one of these, and somebody came over to buy a graphics card for me. Graphics card I wish I still had at this point, but he saw the computer that I had set up and actually wanted to buy it as built. So I have honestly missed this case ever since. And opportunity here, while I'm in Africa, I needed some more cases. This is gonna, I'm gonna put an i7 10700K in this, and so I'm pretty happy to do that with this case. Let me get it out of the box. So thank God for styrofoam, huh? Look at that, thing broke off. All right, so good chance this case will not return to good old USA with me. Really due to the weight of this thing. Uh-oh, looks like there's a piece there. So hopefully that's not a sign that that broke off. That would be majorly disappointing. Of course, glass. One of my concerns, I've been buying cases with acrylic glass. They're basically acrylic plastic, right? Just so I would not have to worry about them breaking and shipping. And it appears this one survived. So let's go ahead and see if this will screw back in. Yeah, it does. So let's look at the features of this case. All right, so we'll start on the top. So we have a magnetic screen here, filter, whatever you want to call it, covering up a vent. All right, and I can get the tape off here. And you can see you could probably get a 240 millimeter radiator in here. Not totally sure about that. I do have 240 millimeter radiator, so we'll see if it fits. It'll end up in there most likely. Two 140 millimeter fans, two 120s, maybe some other sizes in there as well. Power button, USB 3.0, two 2.0s, headphone microphone, and that should be a reset switch there. So let's look at the front. Now, one of the nice things about this, and also one of the bad things about this, you've got this nice glass front, right? Thank God that didn't get broken in shipping. It would have been, yeah, it just wouldn't look good, right? Behind there, you'll see places for 3 CPU fans, case fans. But these aren't always the best type of cases because, honestly, something like, let me show you, something like this case, that is completely vented in the front. Okay, you're going to get better airflow. Now that said, it just does not look as sleek as that, right? So one thing I failed to note, there's a deep cool logo on top. Now this does have venting on the side. Not quite as good. It is at a right angle of the direction you would want airflow. And anybody that's taken fluid mechanics, aerodynamics would know, that's not the best way to get air to flow across something, right? Creates a lot more turbulent areas. So let's go ahead and get this open. I may have at one point in my life had to take those classes. So now one thing these guys do not do, they don't give you any plastic wrap around your glass. So I just got fingerprints all over that. But that is a nice chunk of glass, folks, let me tell you. Some cases, you know, don't have this little cutout. This is one of my favorites. Lets you know exactly what power supply you have in here. And I'm not really sure which one I'm going to put in here, but you know, it's up for grabs. Right now, the only one I have available is a 450 watt EVGA. So that would kind of, in my opinion, not do a whole lot for an awesome case like this. Okay, we should probably put something a little more stout in here. Alright, so even though I've done this video before, I'm doing it again because you know what? I've built with this, know it a little better, and we have compared quite a few other cases at this point. So this is kind of like the new and improved unboxing. Like I said, this is where you're going to put front fans. And you know, the importance of this is that the fans exhaust the cool air into here, right? They're going to suck in fresh air through these vents, through the bottom as well, okay? Push that air across here. Hopefully you've got an awesome CPU cooler that'll suck that. So yeah, hopefully you got an awesome CPU cooler that'll suck in the cool air, pump it right out the back. I'll show you what I'm going to put in here. Alright, so I just slopped that in there, but this is the i7-10700K. We've got a Noctua, and that's the 140 millimeter fan. Now, unfortunately, folks, I might not be able to pull this off in here. You see that? We might have to go with something weaker. And why is that? Because you want to use that RAM slot right there. If I want to go 4 wide, this guy might end up in the way. So you can't drop that down much further. So this actually might not work, which is a bummer. I'm gonna have to pick another one, I think. So yeah, good chance the 120 millimeter version of this would probably work in here. Well, that said, just so you can get an idea of, let's say, you know, we had a different one, different CPU cooler, and trying to line this up for y'all. So nice thing here, you've got access up here for your CPU power connector, okay? That's gonna drop or come in through the back right there. That's a big bonus. Your 24 pins going to come through this hole most likely. Your SATAs, you would run them, you know, through these holes. Now all these guys down here, front panel connectors, USB 2.0, 3.0s. Of course you have, on this motherboard, there's 2 3.0s. But most likely you're going to run all that crap through these openings here, okay? So pretty clean build you'll have with your wiring. One thing I really like about this deep cool is how wide it is. So it's nice and wide. It's got all kinds of, we'll call it length going this way. So you'll be able to get a really big graphics card in here if need be. And you know, more volume equals better cooling, right? So we've got a lot of air in here, and hopefully, you know, a lot of places for that air to escape so we can keep it cool. Now, what do we have over here? Well, on the back side, you've got 2 spots for USB, or excuse me, 2.5 inch drives, whether they be hard drives or solid state. And let's see what else. Well, we'll have to take the back off again, which means I got to take this case out. But just to kind of give you an idea what this is going to look like. You know, not perfect alignment between that and this guy. Not that that is a huge deal, but personally, I would love always to have a fan, everything in a direct line straight across here, right? Airflow is going to go at its best speed if it stays in that straight line. So there's your expansion slots. You know, if the case was a little higher, that might be nice. Like, you might want a little bit more of a gap at the bottom, but you know, they do provide you a gap. So you could, like I said, go through these openings, or you know, some of them underneath the motherboard, depending on how you like to do your builds. So let's get this out of here and check out from the back side, which is I say back side, from the right hand side. All right, so what's important on this side, folks? Well, we said 2.5 inch drives there. Of course, all your connections will be done on this side. This has this nice big opening. Of course, some cases you'll see have even bigger openings, but this will help you if you decide to change out your CPU cooler after the fact. You should be able to work on it easy enough from this side. That's not always the case, but for the most part it is. A couple more spots for 2.5 inch drives, so you could have a ridiculous amount of drives in this case. Yours truly, you know, is pretty much switched over to NVMe M.2s, trying to go, you know, one terabyte, maybe up to two 1 terabyte drives, and foregoing the other kind of drives. So here's all your cable connections. You got the USB 3.0. Of course, the motherboard I showed you had two of those. And this case is one of those ones that only has the one USB 3.0 on the front, so that's why you have only one of these. If it had multiples, then you'd probably end up with two of those guys. So one of these is HD audio, the other is USB 2.0, and then these are your front panel connectors. I'm going to leave them in here, but that's going to be your HDD, power switch, reset switch, power LED. All right. Now, the fan, couldn't see it before. Fan has a Molex and a 3-pin, so I like to do the Molex and keep it clean behind the, you know, keep these connections behind this part of the structure so that you don't see it. It makes it a little cleaner. And of course, you could, you know, plug into the motherboard, but what are you going to do with this thing, right? It's going to be dangling around. It doesn't look so hot. All right, over here. Now, here's a big benefit of this case versus some of the others. This is metal here, right? Now, whether it's aluminum or steel, it's another story, but it should be metal. They didn't spare any expense here. You know, I'm so used to the cheap plastic crap they have on a lot of cases. This is a lot more durable, and just, you know, it's going to work out better in my opinion. Two spots for a 3.5-inch drive. Here's all your hardware. Okay, it's going to have the standard crap in it. A lot of different screws to secure your motherboard, and it will have standoffs in there, additional standoffs for different. So yeah, you'll have the additional standoffs in there for different motherboard configurations. Pretty clean looking. Good. You know, one thing I like about this, right? So I've worked as a manufacturing engineer. The overall quality of Deep Cool versus a lot of other places is much better. To be honest with you, so you know, somebody that would be their direct competitor, we just unboxed this case. I did not find that one to be as good a quality. Okay, so you'll find a lot better quality in this. And a matter of fact, this case was like half the price of that one. Okay. It didn't come with 3 ARGB fans, but you know, for 25-35 bucks, you could get those and end up with a better case. Now, airflow, is it as good as that one? Probably not, but in the grand scheme of things, this one, you know, will probably look better. So there's a little trade-off there, right? Cooling performance versus aesthetics. Now, what else do we want to talk about, folks? The bottom. I hate these kind of vents. Okay, why don't they do the magnetic one like they do on the top? Of course, you know, once you set the computer down, you're hopefully going to forget about this thing. But this, you know, these things are easy to knock off, and I'm not a big fan. Now, if you wanted to remove that hard drive bay, it actually looks like you can do it on this one, folks. Previously, it was not something you could do, I believe, in the first version of this. So they must have started listening to their customers a little bit more. All right, so what else do we want to do? We'll take the front off. Might not be able to do it one-handed. I have a video where I show you how to do this, but basically you're going to want to put your left hand here. All right, I was talking about quality. That doesn't look so good. So this might have been damaged in shipping, or it's just loose. Yeah, it's just that one. So it might have got a little damage in shipping, but all right, back to what I was going to say. So you're going to put your left hand here and your right hand in here, okay? And you're going to yank this forward, all right? Best to do it on the floor. You can do it from this angle. You can do it with the top sitting on the floor. Either way will work. And basically, let's go ahead and do that. So unlike the 55, which has the wiring in it, this one does not. So real easy to get that off. And hell, if you were having problems with cooling, you could just, you know, leave this off, have your 3 fans in the front, boom. You're probably rocking. You're going to see some serious temp drops. So that's what it looks like. Of course, your fans, folks, go on the other side of this, okay? So to remind you again, this is the intake side of the fan will be on this side, and you'll bolt it in here, so your screws will go through the rails. You don't put the fans on the other side. All right, that's gonna block airflow and not be very productive for you. But hey, that's about all for this video. I hope you got something out of it. Hopefully this is better than the first one, and thanks for checking out my video. Please